For centuries, the Galactic Empire was feared across the stars. Every planet in its domain sent resources, money, and sometimes even people as tribute to keep the Empire satisfied. If any world dared to say no, it did not stay free for long. The Empire's fleet, with its massive warships and advanced technology, was always ready to make an example. Stories spread throughout the galaxy about what happened to those who resisted. Their cities burned, their leaders vanished, and their people left broken. Earth was not the most important planet in the galaxy. Some aliens even called it backward, or barely civilized. Still, humans had caught the attention of the Empire. The Empire had heard stories about Earth's quick progress and stubborn attitude. To the Empire, this was amusing. They thought humans were just another race that needed to be reminded who was in charge. One day, a giant Empire ship entered Earth's orbit. The sky above the major cities darkened as the ship's shadow fell over everything. The ship was unlike anything humans had seen before. It was so big that people could see it even during the day, blocking out the sun in some places. It had flashing lights, thick metal armor, and cannons that could level mountains. People across the world ran outside, pointing at the ship in the sky. Some were afraid, others were curious. News channels broke into regular programming to show live footage. The United Human Alliance, the world's new government, called an emergency meeting. All the leaders from every nation joined through holograms. The president of Earth, an older woman with tired eyes but a strong voice, stood in front of the screens. Around her, advisors whispered nervously. Suddenly, every screen on Earth flickered and changed. The face of an alien commander appeared. He looked tall and thin, with silvery skin and yellow eyes that glowed faintly. He spoke in a voice that was cold and proud. The Empire's translation device made his words clear in every language. People of Earth, I am Commander Varlock of the Galactic Empire. Your planet now belongs to us. You will send us tribute, your rarest resources, your best technology, and the brightest of your people. If you refuse, we will destroy your cities and take what we want by force. You have one day to respond. After the message ended, silence filled the world. People everywhere were shocked. Some shouted angrily at their screens. Others hid in fear. The president looked at her advisors. They all seemed to wait for her to break down, but she did not. Instead, she straightened her back and looked at the camera. The world was watching. We will respond, she said, her voice steady. But we will not respond in fear. Behind closed doors, the Alliance debated for hours. Some said they should try to negotiate, hoping to buy time. Others wanted to fight, even if it meant risking everything. The president listened to everyone. In every corner of the globe, people gathered in their homes, on the streets, in parks, everywhere. People talked about what the Empire would do and what humans should do. As the sun went down, something unexpected started to happen. Instead of fear growing, a quiet anger and stubborn pride began to spread. People remembered old stories of resistance, of fighting against impossible odds. Grandparents told children about the world wars, about people who refused to give up, even when it seemed hopeless. Soldiers checked their equipment, pilots got ready, scientists made quick plans, and ordinary people volunteered to help however they could. The president watched the reports come in. People all over Earth were standing up, not giving in. The next day, as the deadline approached, the Empire's ship sent a signal demanding Earth's answer. The president, now wearing the simple uniform of the Alliance, walked alone into the room with the camera. She looked tired but determined. She pressed the button to start the message. "This is Earth's answer," she said. "We will not send you tribute. We will not kneel. We warn you. Run while you still can." The message was short, but it was sent to the Empire's ship and broadcast to the whole galaxy. The Empire's commander received it and laughed. He called his officers and showed them the message, mocking the humans for their bravery. "They think they can scare us?" he said. The Empire's soldiers joined in, making jokes about how quickly the humans would surrender after their first show of force. But on Earth, the message did something different. People who had been afraid felt a new kind of hope. Even children watched and understood that something important had happened. This was not just a government's answer. It was the voice of everyone on Earth, united for the first time in a very long time. The Empire's ship moved into a lower orbit, showing off its weapons. It sent drones flying over cities as a warning. The drones took pictures and sent data back to the Empire's fleet, trying to find the best targets. Some of the drones were shot down by human defense systems. The Empire's officers were surprised that humans could shoot them down so easily. "They have some fight in them," one officer said, almost impressed. In hidden bases all over the world, military leaders and scientists worked together. Secret underground bunkers, built for old wars, were reopened and filled with people. Engineers checked old satellites and powered up strange new weapons that had never been used before. A group of young hackers in a small city worked all night, searching for weaknesses in the Empire's systems. One of them, a girl named Eliza, found a strange signal in the Empire's communication. She called her friends and they started to break into the Empire's network. They found maps, plans, and codes for the Empire's ships. With shaking hands, they sent everything they learned to the Alliance command. In space, the Empire's commander prepared to show Earth what happened. To those who said no, he gave the order for his ship to charge its main weapon, planning to fire a warning shot at the moon. The weapon started to glow as it gathered energy. On Earth, alarms rang in every city. People waited, breathless, for what would happen next. But as the weapon fired, something strange happened. The shot went wide, missing the moon by miles. The commander slammed his fist on the control panel, shouting at his crew. He did not know that the hackers had sent a virus into the Empire's targeting system, making the shot miss on purpose. People on Earth cheered as they watched the shot miss. The president smiled quietly. "Let them think it was luck," she said to her advisors. "We'll give them more surprises soon." That night, the world did not sleep. All over the planet, people prepared for war. Old rivalries were forgotten. Nations that once fought now shared technology and soldiers. Scientists from different countries sent each other data, working together in real time. Children drew pictures of spaceships and brave soldiers, taping them to their windows as a sign of hope. In the sky, the Empire's ship loomed, but now people looked up at it with something new, not just fear, but determination. The Empire had demanded tribute, but Earth had answered with a warning: run, or see what humanity could do when united. As the sun rose over Earth, the huge ship of the Galactic Empire still hung in the sky like a shadow. People across the planet woke up feeling nervous, but also strangely proud. The president's message, broadcast everywhere, was repeated on every news channel. Even in small towns and villages, people gathered around screens to listen to her warning. "We warn you, run while you still can." In the Empire's control room, Commander Varlock stared at the screen showing Earth's cities. He could not believe that humans dared to talk back to the Empire. His officers worked at their consoles, looking for any sign of surrender, but found none. Instead, they saw people preparing, crowds marching together, and soldiers taking up positions. It was not what they expected. Varlock ordered his fleet to send more drones down to Earth. These new drones were larger, tougher, and carried scanners. Their job was to map every weapon, every bunker, and every defense system the humans had. Some drones flew over wide deserts, others over big cities or deep forests. But again and again, the human defense systems reacted. Missiles shot up from hidden bases, energy blasts came from unexpected places, and old anti-aircraft guns from long-forgotten wars were dusted off and used. Each time a drone was destroyed, the people cheered. Down on Earth, the Alliance command, was busy. In a room full of maps, screens, and blinking lights, military leaders and scientists watched the Empire's movements. They shared every bit of information, learning from each drone attack and quickly improving their defenses. They called it Operation Unity. Nobody was left out. Engineers, students, and even farmers gave ideas or volunteered. In a small lab in Northern Europe, Eliza and her team of hackers barely slept. They were working together, sometimes arguing, but always moving fast. Every time a drone was shot down, they celebrated. When they found a way to break into the Empire's network, they high-fived and laughed. Eliza's hands shook with excitement as she discovered blueprints for the Empire's weapons. Back on the Empire's ship, Varlock was growing impatient. He had always believed that fear was enough to make people obey. But these humans kept fighting, surprising him at every turn. He told his officers, "If they want war, they will have it. Prepare to fire again." This time he aimed at a deserted island in the Pacific. The Empire's weapon charged, and a bright beam of energy shot down, turning sand and trees into glass. The explosion was huge, sending waves across the ocean. For a few moments the world went silent, shocked by the display of power. But something changed after the blast. People did not run away or beg for mercy. Instead, they grew angrier. The images of the destroyed island were shown everywhere, but instead of spreading fear, they made people more determined. "They want to scare us," said one old man on the news, "but they just made us stronger." The president called another, meeting with her advisors. She spoke with fire in her voice. "They think they can break us, but they do not understand who we are. We will not surrender." Her words spread quickly, and people everywhere took heart. In space, the Empire's ships began to move closer. They released small attack shuttles, each one filled with soldiers and robots. The plan was simple: land near major cities, show off the Empire's power, and force humans to give up. But Earth was ready. Human pilots, flying old but upgraded fighter jets, took to the sky. They flew fast and low, dodging energy beams and firing missiles at the incoming shuttles. In the middle of all this, an unexpected hero appeared, a young pilot named Adam. He had grown up hearing stories about old wars, but he never thought he would see an alien fleet above his home. Now, with shaking hands and a heart full of courage, Adam led a group of fighters straight at the Empire's shuttles. His jet's computer beeped warnings as enemy lasers cut through the sky, but Adam kept going. He locked onto the nearest shuttle and fired, hitting it in the engines. The shuttle exploded in a ball of fire, and Adam's team cheered. Down below, crowds in the city watched the dogfight overhead and cheered every time a human jet dodged danger or brought down an enemy. On the ground, local militias and volunteers took up positions. In every country, men and women patrolled streets and helped move families to safety. In the countryside, farmers and hunters set up traps and built barricades. Children drew pictures of spaceships and brave pilots, taping them on windows to show support. Meanwhile, Eliza and her team kept working. They found a weakness in the Empire's control signals and quickly sent it to the military. Soon, the human defense teams were able to jam some of the Empire's communications. Robots meant to attack suddenly walked in circles or shut down completely. The soldiers inside the Empire's shuttles grew confused. Commander Varlock was furious. "How can this be happening?" he yelled. "This world should be bowing to us." His officers ran tests and checked their systems, but the sabotage continued. Every hour, more of his equipment failed, and his soldiers grew nervous. The battle for the skies above Earth became even more intense. Empire ships tried to land, but each time human jets and anti-aircraft guns fought back. Adam became a symbol of hope. Videos of his daring flying spread across the world. People who had never met him called him a hero, and parents told their children, "See what one brave person can do." The Empire's soldiers finally managed to land in a ruined industrial city. They marched through the streets, expecting the humans to run and hide, but instead they found traps everywhere, hidden. Wires, explosive barrels, and doors rigged to fall. The city became a maze, and the Empire's robots had trouble moving on the broken roads. A group of human fighters, led by a former firefighter named Maria, watched from a hidden rooftop. She whispered to her team, "Wait for my signal." When the Empire's soldiers reached the center of the square, she gave the order. Explosions shook the city, and the fighters rushed out, using quick hit-and-run tactics. The Empire's soldiers, confused by the chaos and jamming signals, retreated. On the Empire's ship, Varlock's patience was gone. He ordered all ships to attack at once. The sky above Earth filled with bright flashes as Empire ships fired on human cities. Buildings shook, alarms rang, and people rushed to shelters. But the humans did not give up. Firefighters, doctors, and rescue workers risked everything to save lives. In the middle of the bombing, a group of engineers fixed a damaged power station, bringing lights back to an entire city. Throughout all this, the president's voice could be heard everywhere. "We will not break. We will not kneel. This is our world." Her words gave courage to everyone, young and old. In another part of the world, Eliza's team made a breakthrough. They found a secret code that allowed them to access the Empire's ship controls, at least for a few minutes. Working quickly, they sent out a signal that disabled the Empire's main sensors. For the first time, the Empire's ship was blind and had to pull back. Commander Varlock realized that things were not going as planned. He called for a meeting with his top officers. "We are not dealing with simple animals," he admitted. "These humans are clever. They fight with everything they have." Back on Earth, people watched as the Empire's ship moved away, even if only for a short time. Cheers and celebrations broke out in the streets. It was a small victory, but it showed that the Empire could be hurt. Adam and his fellow pilots landed their jets, greeted as heroes. Maria and her fighters regrouped, ready to defend again. Eliza and her team, exhausted but happy, shared a moment of pride. All over the world, people realized something important. The Empire was not invincible, and united, humans could stand against anything. In the days that followed the first battles, the world changed in ways nobody could have imagined. People woke up every morning with the Empire's ship still in the sky, but now fear had become determination. Around the world, everyone worked. Together, scientists, soldiers, doctors, students, and even children. They all had one goal: protect Earth and show the Empire that humans would never be ruled by force. Inside the United Human Alliance headquarters, the president and her team did not rest. She read reports from every corner of the world. There were stories of bravery. Pilots like Adam flying dangerous missions, ground fighters like Maria leading civilians through ruined streets, and the young hacker Eliza, whose discoveries had, helped blind the Empire's ship for the first time. Each report brought hope and made everyone push harder. In the labs, scientists worked around the clock. They used everything humans had ever learned, old inventions and new ideas, to make better defenses. Some teams built powerful shields from old satellites. Others created strange new weapons that could mess up the Empire's technology. Even high school students sent in their own ideas for how to confuse the alien robots or jam their signals. But the real secret of Earth's growing strength was something the Empire did not understand: unity. For the first time in history, there were no borders, no fighting between countries. People shared what they had: food, power, knowledge, and even dreams for the future. Every message sent by the president ended with the same words: "We stand as one." The Empire, high above, was confused by what they saw. Commander Varlock grew more frustrated every day. His officers argued over what to do next. Some wanted to destroy a city to scare the humans into surrender. Others worried that such violence would only make the humans angrier. Varlock stared at the screen, watching as humans continued to resist every attack. No matter what the Empire tried, bombings, robot soldiers, or sneaky spies, Earth always had an answer. "Why are they so stubborn?" Varlock muttered one night. He remembered other worlds, planets that surrendered in hours. But these humans were different. They learned fast. Every time the Empire attacked, the humans found a new way to fight back. On the ground, Adam and his squadron became a symbol of hope. People made songs about their victories. In every city, murals of jets racing through the sky appeared overnight. But Adam knew it was not just him or his team. The whole world was fighting in its own way. One morning, Adam received a message from the Alliance. He was being moved to a secret base for a new mission. The base was hidden deep in the mountains, surrounded by forests and rivers. There, Adam met with pilots and engineers from all over the world. The leader of the project, an old pilot with a scar on his cheek, explained what was happening. "We have a new weapon," the man said quietly. "We call it the Ghost. It's a plane that can't be seen by the Empire's sensors. You and your team will fly it on a dangerous mission to disable the Empire's main ship." Adam looked at the blueprints and his heart raced. The Ghost was strange and beautiful, built from ideas sent by people across the world. It had stealth coding, silent engines, and systems designed by kids who loved science fiction. Adam felt a mix of fear and excitement. Meanwhile, in a city far away, Maria and her group of fighters were on another mission. The Empire had sent robots to search for weapons and capture leaders. Maria led her team through underground tunnels, helping people escape and setting traps for the robots. Her best friend, Luis, was an engineer who built small devices that could turn the robots against each other. One night, as Maria's team rested in an old subway station, Luis showed her a new gadget. "Watch this," he whispered, pressing a button. Across the tunnel, an Empire robot turned and started attacking its own side. Maria laughed and hugged Luis. "You just saved a lot of lives," she said. In the hidden labs, Eliza was working on her biggest challenge yet. The Empire had changed its codes, making it harder to hack their systems. But Eliza was stubborn. She drank cup after cup of coffee, her eyes red from lack of sleep. Her friends helped, sending her jokes and snacks to keep her spirits up. Late, one night, Eliza finally broke through the new code. She gasped as she read what the Empire was planning, a massive ground attack using hundreds of robots and soldiers. She sent the warning to the Alliance command right away. Her message read, "They're coming, be ready." Back in the mountains, Adam and his team prepared for their mission. They wore simple flight suits with no badges. Before leaving, the old pilot gave them a pep talk. "You are not just fighting for your own countries," he said. "You are fighting for all of us." The Ghost took off before sunrise, flying low through the clouds. Adam felt the plane's power and speed. As they approached the Empire's ship, Adam's co-pilot, Mia, kept her eyes on the controls. The ship was huge, glowing in the early morning light. Adam whispered, "Here we go." On the ground, Maria and her team waited in the shadows as Empire robots marched through the city. Luis's gadgets caused confusion, making the robots turn on each other. When the attack began, Maria led her fighters in quick strikes, slowing the Empire's advance. Everywhere, people joined in. Bakers threw rocks, children shouted warnings, and doctors pulled the wounded to safety. It was chaos, but it was also hope. In the sky, Adam's team reached the Empire's ship. The Ghost's stealth systems worked perfectly. They flew so close they could see the alien symbols on the hull. Adam took a deep breath, aimed, and fired their new weapon, a device that sent out waves of energy designed to disable the ship's controls. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then, the lights on the Empire's ship flickered, sirens blared, and the ship started to drift. Adam's co-pilot cheered. "It's working!" she shouted. Inside the ship, Commander Varlock panicked. "What's happening?" he demanded. His officers scrambled to fix the controls, but nothing worked. The ship spun slowly in orbit, its weapons offline. For the first time, Varlock felt real fear. Down on Earth, Eliza's warning helped the Alliance prepare for the Empire's ground attack. Traps were set, defenses were ready, and people hid in safe places. When the Empire's robots arrived, they found themselves caught in a maze of obstacles. Exploding cars, falling buildings, and hacked robots turning against them. Maria's team struck again and again, never staying in one place for long. Luis's devices sent signals through the city, confusing the Empire's machines. "Keep moving!" Maria shouted, leading her fighters through burning streets. In Alliance headquarters, the president watched every update. She smiled for the first time in days. "We are winning," she whispered. But the Empire was not finished yet. As the ship drifted, Varlock ordered a desperate move. "Prepare the emergency engines," he commanded. "We will not lose to these humans." Engineers inside the ship worked frantically, restoring some power. The ship steadied itself, but the damage was done. Across the galaxy, Empire outposts picked up the signals. Earth had struck a blow that no other world had managed. That night, all over Earth, people celebrated. Children danced in the streets, pilots hugged each other, and Maria's team finally rested, knowing they had survived another day. Eliza closed her laptop and smiled, feeling proud and a little amazed at what she and her friends had achieved. But everyone knew the fight was not over. The Empire would strike back, maybe harder than before. Still, for the first time, hope had become something real, something everyone could feel. They had hurt the Empire. They had stood together. And now, the galaxy was watching. The days that followed were some of the hardest yet. After their ship had been struck by Adam's team flying the Ghost, the Galactic Empire was furious. Commander Varlock spent every waking moment planning his revenge. He ordered his officers to repair the damage, work double shifts, and prepare the fleet for a massive attack. He could not believe that humans had managed to hurt the Empire, even if only for a short time. Across the galaxy, rumors spread like wildfire. Other planets, long under the Empire's rule, watched closely. In quiet places and secret meetings, they whispered about Earth's victory. For the first time, the mighty Empire looked weak. Some hoped it would lead to change. Others were too afraid to speak out. On Earth, there was no time to celebrate for long. The Alliance Command knew that the Empire would not forgive or forget so easily. They worked day and night, checking defenses, making new plans, and trying to guess what the Empire would do next. The president held regular meetings with her team, always encouraging, always calm. She had become a symbol of hope, just like Adam and Maria. The world listened to her words. "We are strong together. The Empire has not beaten us. Now we must hold fast." In every city and town, people prepared, schools closed, and classrooms became shelters. Factories stopped making cars and started making parts for shields and drones. Farmers delivered food straight to city centers. Even old and retired soldiers joined in, teaching young volunteers how to stay safe and help others. The feeling of unity grew even stronger. No one was left behind. Deep underground, in a secret command center, Eliza and her friends worked nonstop. They drank coffee, typed on keyboards, and fixed machines by hand. Their new goal was to hack the Empire's communication system for good, so the humans could listen in and warn everyone before an attack. Every breakthrough was met with tired smiles and quiet cheers. Eliza's fingers hurt from typing, but she refused to stop. One night, Eliza's team finally broke the code, screens filled with strange alien words and numbers. She called the president herself. "We did it," Eliza said, her voice shaking. "We can hear the Empire's plans." At the same time, Adam and the other ghost pilots trained for new missions. They practiced flying at night, hiding from sensors, and landing in secret places. Adam was tired, but he was proud. He had become close friends with Mia, his co-pilot, and the other ghost pilots. They shared stories of home and dreams for the future. One evening, Adam sat on a hill, looking up at the stars. Mia joined him, and they watched the Empire's ship glowing high above. "Do you think we can win?" Mia asked quietly. Adam nodded. "We already did. They wanted us to be afraid, but instead they made us stronger. No matter what happens next, we don't fight alone." Suddenly, alarms sounded in the camp. Orders flashed on every screen. Empire landing detected. Adam and Mia ran to the runway. The Ghost team prepared for another mission. This time, the Empire was not just sending robots. They were sending elite alien soldiers, tall, armored, and armed with advanced weapons. Their plan was to land in 3 different cities at once, break the human defenses, and capture the president. Varlock believed that if he took the leader, the world would finally surrender. The Alliance command worked quickly. They sent out messages to all fighters and volunteers. Adam's team would lead an airstrike to delay the landings. Maria's fighters would block the streets, making it hard for the enemy to move. And Eliza's hackers would try to shut down the Empire's landing crafts. As the Empire's ships entered the atmosphere, anti-aircraft missiles fired from hidden bases. Bright lights flashed across the sky as ghost jets chased the enemy down. Adam's hands shook as he locked onto an enemy shuttle, pressing the trigger. The shuttle exploded, and Adam shouted, "That's one down!" But more ships broke through. In the city where Maria fought, Empire soldiers landed in the main square. They moved quickly, using strange shields to block bullets and lasers. Civilians ran for cover. Maria and her team used every trick they knew: traps, ambushes, and hit-and-run attacks. The Empire's soldiers were strong, but they were not used to fighting people who refused to run away. Maria saw a group of children trapped in a school building. She signaled to her team, and together they distracted the soldiers long enough to get the children out. Luis, the engineer, used a homemade EMP device to disable a robot that was chasing them. "Go!" Maria shouted, helping everyone reach safety. At the same time, Eliza's team broke into the Empire's landing craft systems. She smiled as her code took effect. In the sky, several enemy ships suddenly lost power and crashed harmlessly into empty fields. On her screen, Eliza watched the Empire's officers panic as their technology failed again. The president, safe in a bunker, continued to lead. She spoke to the world. "They are here, but we are ready. Trust each other. Protect each other. Hold the line." Her voice echoed through radios, speakers, and phones everywhere. In the air, Adam and Mia flew low over the city, dropping signal jammers and warning Maria's team about enemy movements. Their ghost jet took damage from enemy fire, but Mia kept it steady. "We can't let them win," she whispered. Maria's team, with help from the ghost pilots above and Eliza's hacking, managed to slow the enemy's advance. In the chaos, Adam saw the enemy's main command vehicle, a huge armored carrier guarded by alien soldiers. "If we take that out, maybe we can break their attack," Adam said into his radio. He and Mia flew in low, dodging enemy fire. Maria's team fought to clear a path, throwing smoke grenades and attacking the enemy from every side. As Adam's jet passed over the command carrier, he dropped a special device designed by Eliza's group. The device sent out a powerful energy pulse. The command carrier stopped moving. Its shields dropped. The alien commander inside shouted orders, but the humans were already there. Maria and Luis led a charge, capturing the enemy leader and taking away his weapon. When the news reached the Empire's ship above, Commander Varlock was speechless. His elite force had failed. His own officer was captured. He realized that every human, pilot, fighter, engineer, even children, was willing to stand against the Empire. On Earth, the people cheered. For the first time, the Empire's soldiers were seen surrendering. Across the world, the images spread. Alien soldiers, once so feared, now being helped to their feet by humans. Medics treated their wounds, and children handed them water. The president made a new speech, broadcast to the galaxy. "We do not want war, but we will never give up our freedom. If the Empire continues this fight, it will only lose more. This is your last chance. Leave Earth and never return." Other planets heard her words and felt a spark of hope. Maybe, just maybe, the Empire could be defeated. Up in the Empire's ship, Varlock faced a decision. His pride told him to keep fighting. But the reports from Earth were clear. Every attack only made the humans stronger. His officers whispered about mutiny. Some wanted to surrender. Others wanted to retreat. For the first time, Varlock saw fear in their eyes, not of the humans, but of the truth. The Empire's time might be ending. That night, Earth was quiet for the first time in weeks. People held hands and sang songs. Maria hugged Luis and the rescued children. Adam and Mia sat under the stars, thinking about home. Eliza slept in her chair, finally resting, and the president looked up at the sky, waiting for the Empire's answer. A quiet dawn settled over Earth after the hardest night in living memory. For the first time in weeks, there were no bombs, no alarms, no shadows moving in the sky. The Galactic Empire's massive ship floated above the clouds, but it did not fire. It did not move closer. Inside, Commander Varlock sat in silence, reading reports over and over again. Each message said the same thing. Earth had stopped his best soldiers, his strongest robots, and even captured one of his own officers. His pride was gone now, replaced by a heavy fear. The Empire had always been sure of victory. It was the rule. In the galaxy, if the Empire wanted something, no one could say no. But now, Varlock faced the truth. Earth was not like other worlds. They did not break. They did not bow. Instead, they had fought together, and with every new challenge, they became stronger. Down on Earth, life was far from normal, but hope was everywhere. Streets that had been empty were now filled with people cleaning, repairing, and hugging each other. Schools stayed closed, but children played outside and drew pictures of jets and brave fighters. The news showed heroes from every city: pilots, soldiers, medics, hackers, and even regular citizens who had stood up to help someone else. In the Alliance Command Center, the president read the latest reports. Her voice was tired but strong. "We have lost much, but we have not lost ourselves. The world is different now. We are one people, and together we have faced the Empire and survived." Her message went out to every screen and speaker, and people cheered. Across the oceans, radio signals carried her words to places that had never been united before. Even the smallest villages listened, and old people who remembered wars long ago wiped away tears of pride. Adam and Mia returned their ghost jet to the base after the long night. The jet was damaged, but still flying. The engineers and other pilots ran out to meet them, hugging and shaking hands. Adam felt a pride deeper than he had ever known. He looked at Mia and smiled. "We did it," he whispered. She squeezed his hand in reply. Maria and Luis spent the morning helping rebuild the city. The children they had saved helped carry supplies. Every person who passed by thanked them, some with words, others with silent hugs. Maria thought of all the people who had fought and all the moments they had been afraid. Now she felt only relief and hope. In her hidden lab, Eliza finally closed her laptop and leaned back in her chair. She had spent days breaking Empire codes and helping to guide the battle. Now, for the first time, she allowed herself to sleep. Her friends watched over her, knowing she was one of the heroes who helped save the world. But everyone knew the fight was not finished. The Empire's ship still hung in the sky, and nobody could be sure what Varlock would do next. In the Empire's command room, Varlock met with his senior officers. Some wanted to attack again, even harder. Others whispered about leaving before. Earth did something even more dangerous. Varlock watched their faces and saw the truth. None of them believed they could win anymore. He called a meeting with Earth's leaders. The president answered from the Alliance Command Center. Varlock tried to sound proud, but his voice was weak. "You have fought well, humans, but you must know, the Empire does not forget." The president looked at him with steady eyes. "You came to our world and demanded tribute. We warned you to run. You did not listen. Now, you have lost your soldiers, your pride, and your fear over us. What else do you want to lose?" There was a long silence. Around Varlock, his officers waited for his answer. He thought of all the planets he had conquered, all the people who had surrendered at the first sign of trouble. But Earth had changed everything. Varlock gave the order. Prepare to leave orbit. As the Empire's ship began to pull away from Earth, people cheered and celebrated. The news spread in seconds. In every home, on every street, people danced, cried, and hugged. Old enemies forgave each other. Families, separated by war, found each other again, but the story was not over. As the Empire's ship left the solar system, Varlock sent one last message to the galaxy. He told the truth about what happened on Earth, that a united people, full of courage, had refused to kneel to the Empire's power. That message spread to every planet under the Empire's rule. On worlds far away, rebels and leaders heard Varlock's words. They remembered the president's speech, broadcast across the stars. "We do not want war, but we will never give up our freedom." Hope grew in their hearts. For the first time in centuries, the Empire's control began to slip. Back on Earth, the president stood before the United Human Alliance. She wore a simple suit, not the heavy robes of old leaders. Her hair was gray, her face marked with worry and wisdom. She spoke quietly, but her words were strong. "This is not just a victory for Earth. This is a message to the galaxy. No power, no matter how strong, can rule forever if people stand together. We have lost much, but we have gained something greater: each other." She called for a new day, a day when old borders would not return, and when Earth would never forget the lesson it had learned. She asked scientists and engineers to keep working, to build a better, safer world. She thanked the pilots and fighters, the medics and hackers, and every person who had helped, no matter how small their role. Adam, Mia, Maria, Luis, Eliza, and all the others became heroes. Their names were remembered in stories, their faces shown in paintings and statues. But they did not think of themselves as heroes. They said they just did what anyone would do: protect the people and world they loved. Soon, messages from other planets arrived. Some were simple greetings. Others asked for help or advice. Earth was no longer alone. The story of how humanity stood together inspired others to stand up for themselves. Time passed, and the scars of war slowly faded. New buildings rose, cleaner and stronger than before. Gardens grew in the places where battles had raged. Children went back to school, learning about the stars and the day when Earth told the Empire to run. The world was not perfect, and there were still problems to solve. But nobody doubted that things had changed. Whenever someone was afraid or when old habits of fighting returned, people remembered the days when they stood side by side against a common enemy. Far away, in the center of the Galactic Empire, Varlock was called before the rulers. He expected punishment, maybe worse, but as he spoke, he saw something new in their eyes: fear. They understood that the story of Earth could not be stopped. Already, rebellions had started. The people wanted what Earth had: hope. The Empire tried to hide the truth, but it was too late. The galaxy knew the story, and everywhere people whispered the words that had changed history. Run, while you still can. On Earth, life moved forward. The president retired and was replaced by someone new, but her words and courage lived on. Adam became a teacher, sharing stories of the sky. Mia helped build the next generation of planes. Maria and Luis worked to rebuild cities, while Eliza started teaching young hackers, always saying, "You never know when you'll need to save the world." The world stayed united, not out of fear, but out of understanding. They knew that together they could face anything. The stars above were no longer a threat, but a promise, a future waiting to be explored, not conquered. And so, as the sun set on a peaceful world, children looked up and asked, "Will the Empire come back?" Their parents smiled and answered, "Not if they remember what happened last time, not if they remember what it means to be human."